Yeah, I guess so. That would seem smart.
Hey, another try.
Yes, and let's see what I can find on my profile. My channel, live events, Europe Take 3, and the YouTube.
Ta-da!
Hey, we're live.
Okay.
Next try.
Same place again. I will ask Jean-Paul to join, so let the cat fix that.
See what I can find on my profile. My channel.
Okay, then we're good to go, and then I would use this YouTube link now to send out the email to the participants.
Yay!
Right, okay. Going out in 1 second.
We should get some sort of video conferencing, enterprise video conferencing company to sponsor this.
Mm-hmm. I know one or two that might. There's a group called Enterprise Hangouts that does an enterprise layer on top of this.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. We should totally get them involved. Because this is just not quite. It's a little bit. I mean, it's fantastic for a free service, but scaling to hundreds of people. Wow, 23 lines and questions from Sim Suit. Hello, Sim. Sorry, but we've got to use a different.
Was there more questions on that other feed? I answered the only one that was there when I was there.
Yeah, there's 7 questions by Sim. If you wanna answer that also, that'd be cool.
Sure, I just gotta find the old feed.
I got a message now that this video is private. No more access to that page.
Which one's private?
The old one.
The old one.
Well, that's not great because you needed to tell people, hey, use the new one.
Yeah, I will put a comment there.
So Danny G is asking, can we create a well? So there's lots of questions now on the new one, a lot.
Good.
Which is great. Jason, do you want to redo your overview of the tool? You want to do it now?
Yeah. You think we have enough people watching now?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome. My name is Jason Coutu. I'm head of testing for Vendasta Software. This is one of our products. This is our sales tool. It creates demo accounts for one of our other products called Reputation Intelligence. Once you log in, you will see a screen somewhat like this. It won't have 4 companies already created in it or account in it. Those are added by going to the Create Account screen, which is up here in the top. Sorry, I gotta find my mouse. Up here in the top right. Clicking Create Account will give you a chance to create an account. Unfortunately, I don't have, this is our demo server, so it doesn't have a full set of countries that we can create accounts for. You might have to go searching for real companies. Once you enter their phone number or their business name and postal code, it will search for you. I have a phone number handy. Of course, it's going to be slow. There we go. It didn't find anybody with that phone number I used, so it's given me a blank form to fill in. If it does find a company, it'll fill in a large number of these fields for you. Of course, the red star means it's a required field. No red star means it's optional. The more information that you fill in, except for this section about contact person, the more accurate.
You want to try the phone number for Exelon Development?
Sure. Throw it at me.
269.
269.
355.
355.
3513.
3513. Two 355-3513.
Yep. Didn't find it?
It didn't find it. I happen to know that we use Google as a backing service to search these phone numbers. So if you don't have if you can't be found by searching for that phone number on Google, we won't find you. We have some more service providers in the pipe, but they haven't been implemented yet.
Yeah. I was thinking you pick it up from Foursquare, where I know it's registered.
Yeah. That being said, I could probably go down here and do Exelon. And what's your zip code?
49010.
49010. Yeah, there we go. You're probably the bottom one.
No, neither of those. Exelon.
You mean you're not a beauty salon? Or point of interest?
We're not a beauty salon.
Fun. Develop. No, can't find you.
Oh man, we are not social enough.
Yeah, that being said, in this particular case, I could then manually enter all of this information.
Sure.
I remembered why I didn't find that phone number that I used, because it's Canadian. It's for Christie's El Secondo Bakery. It set all this information up for me. I've already created this account, so I'm not actually going to hit submit. Once an account is created, it takes about 10 minutes to create this snapshot report. And there's two, as a user, as a admin, you guys are, the role that you're playing in this test is as a salesperson. You're trying to sell the Repent product to the business, so you've created this snapshot report. So your first access to the snapshot report is in an editing mode. Once it loads here, we'll see that you're given all the various sections. All the sections have a green check mark on them. That green check mark is whether or not that section of the report is going to be included in the included in the final report. There's a view report link here that lets you go view the report as if the customer would, and a button where you can email the report to that customer. It's a pretty simple tool. Some of the complexity, a lot of the complexity comes in from whether or not sections get included, whether or not we say they get included, how we calculate these scorings, what we determine should be displayed as displayed. And we're really concerned that salespeople need to be able to use this tool from login all the way through emailing the report to their clients from mobile devices. Our research shows that the salespeople that we're trying to engage work primarily off iPads, full-size iPads and iPad minis, and some even off their iPhones or Android equivalents thereof. And so one of the things we're concerned about is whether or not we got the responsive design working well enough that they can interact with the product sufficiently.
So we earlier in the previous broadcast, you described some part of the application as out of scope. What was that? What was that?
Okay.
Again?
So this tool is all about the snapshot report. This purple star here is the actual product that we're creating the demo for, and it's a great source for you to go to be an oracle for whether or not the data shown in the snapshot report is actually the data that we gathered for them. So this is the reputation account for the business we just looked at the snapshot report for. You'll notice that the URL now says StepRep Demo instead of Sales Tool. And this is the in-depth product that's trying to be sold with that sales tool. So we need them to be very consistent. So feel free to go here and check the answers that are here. But testing while you're on StepRep Demo is out of scope.
Mm-hmm.
Couple other things that are out of scope, explicitly out of scope, I'm going to say it even though I know it was in bold and red in your email, is if you intentionally load test our application, I will send you a bill. We live on the Google App Engine infrastructure. It may be a bit sluggish every now and then when it gets hit with 1,000 people trying to create new accounts all of a sudden, but it's going to spin up new instances and get real snappy, and it will just survive. So extra load testing just costs me more money. It doesn't test my application, it tests the Google App Engine infrastructure. Likewise, security testing. Most of our security is provided to us by Google, so feel free to do security testing if that's your bailiwick, but it's really low priority for me, and if you trip the intrusion detection that's set up by Google, that's your problem, not mine. So I don't recommend it. Anything else I needed to cover before I start answering questions, Matt?
I think that's a fine introduction. You mentioned that primarily we're trying to sell to sales forces that use iPads and other mobile devices. So what about like Galaxy Notebook kind of Android tablets, also in scope for testing if they've got them?
If you got them, use them. Mostly I'm interested in as large a variety of different screen sizes and resolutions to make sure that it's usable on a large number of devices possible.
So iPods, iPhones, Android phones, Blackberries that are new and we think should work, all those sorts of things?
Probably if you have less than a 4-inch screen, your experience is going to be suboptimal. But anything over a 4-inch screen, if the experience is frustrating, that's definitely something to record.
Okay. So we've got some people here that can't log in. I told them to reach out to me on Twitter. And someone else, there's another guy that, yeah, so I don't know if you can scroll down, Jason. I'm going to put one of the email addresses in the Hangout chat for our private chat. Yeah. And someone else said they can now get in. I've got 23 lines of questions from Sim Sutrop. And somebody else couldn't get in.
I do not have the YouTube window open, so if you guys could either put them in our chat or somebody could actually ask them to me, that would be great.
Let's start with Sim's questions, and I can talk them, and then I can also type them in. Please explain in more detail the main purpose of the product.
I believe I covered that. This question was asked before I did the overview.
Okay. Who are the customers that matter the most to you?
We sell, this particular product is sold to companies that already have a sales force selling other digital products. So advertising agencies are a prime target, as are newspapers, yellow page companies, marketing companies. So we're a white label provider. We don't sell this product directly to customers. to end users. We sell it to companies who resell it for us. This particular tool is for the people who are going to be going out on the street to actually sell to end users. What was question 3 there? I can't quite see it.
Sorry, I'm typing at the same time.
Yeah.
Are there any other development documents available to us? Specifications, user stories, glossary, help, homepage, or other kinds of materials?
Our company is Vendasta.com. You can find out a lot about us and what we do and the purpose of the product that's trying to be sold using sales tool there. We're in the reputation management space. We try to help small businesses know what's being said about them online and engage their online audience. As opposed to explicit documentation, none that I'm willing to share.
Are there any other functions to help test the software, such as diagnostics, log files, test menus, etc.?
Not log. This is web software, so I have access to the logs, but out of good thinking, I'm not about to let 1,000 people that I don't know have access to my production server to look at the logs. If there's something explicit where you really think a log would help your bug report, feel free to chat Matt, and he'll pass on the request to me, and if I agree, I'll look up the logs. Matt, why did you go green? I'll look up the logs and pass them on to you.
Why did I go green?
Yeah, your screen went green for a second. It was weird.
Okay, I don't know. I'm busy typing away while you talk. So.
Yeah.
Does the product depend on any external hardware or software that's not part of the demo environment but is required in order for the software to work?
That's actually a really good question. I like that one. This product is one of a series of 9 products that are part of our full suite. It will be interacting with Reputation Intelligence, Vendasta Business Center, and Vendasta Core Services, all in the background, but that should already be set up and working. And so some of those, like I already showed you Reputation Intelligence. You've got a link into it. It's up and working. It's out of scope for testing, but it's in scope as an oracle for the data. Same with Vendasta Business Center. You will, at some point in your testing, undoubtedly trip over a link that takes you into Vendasta Business Center. Again, we need to make sure that that link works, but once you're actually into Business Center, that's out of scope for this. I think I see question 6 on my screen. What in my opinion is the most unique aspects of this software that set it apart from similar products? Well, there aren't really similar products, but the unique aspects of our suite of programs is that we specialize in small and medium business. It's our competitive advantage. There's lots of people doing reputation management out there for large brands and large companies, but we do it on the small scale for the small business.
So let me ask you, and this is kind of a ridiculous question, but if the teams wanted to do research with a company like Radian 6 and pretend that was sort of a, what's the phrase, a equivalent product, Oracle, would that make any sense at all?
It could. For some of our other products, for this particular product, because it's aimed at the salesperson as opposed to the small business user to help the salesperson sell the product, it wouldn't be that helpful in this particular case.
Okay, great. And Ken, Could we benefit from any specific equipment or tools to test the environment which are available to us? I would think that, if you don't have an iPad, you might try an iPad emulator.
Yeah. Anything that's going to allow you to exercise the responsive design. If you have access to tools that test how emails look on different email rendering systems, that might be useful. We use Litmus, which is an online service when we develop the email that gets sent out. So there's one or two email clients that I know the email looks dumb on.
So Litmus is a test for email? I've not heard of this.
Yeah, Litmus is a service. Once you subscribe to it, you can. They give you a specialized email address to send your emails to, and then they'll forward that email on to, I think it's about 40 or 50 different email clients, and then take pictures of it for you so that you can see what your email looks like rendered by that client.
Okay. That's cool. I did not know about that. All right. So I think that's all 7 questions. I'm going to click the reply button, and then that should get a lot of answers. I assume your company is DDA compliant. Any focus on this? No idea what DDA means.
I believe that's probably Disabilities Act. I will answer the question as if it was, and whoever used the acronym can fill us in on what the acronym actually is. It's probably a European equivalent of the ADA Act.
Right.
Americans with Disabilities Act. We haven't done specific testing against the Disabilities Act. We use raw text. All of our images have alt text behind them, so it should be screen reader compliant. I use a lot of Selenium in our testing, so most things have useful IDs. On that, I'm without getting a better definition of whatever that acronym compliant is.
Right.
I'm not sure. We're just now starting to look at the European market. We've been looking at Britain and other English-speaking areas in Europe. We haven't done any translation efforts yet. So we're currently available in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, Canada, the United States, English, Mexico, and we're doing evaluations in several companies in Europe, several areas in Europe, including Britain and German, but German in English for some strange reason. Is there a browser for which the design of the app is considered optimal? Yes, but only because all of our devs love Chrome. It's rare to find a browser-based issue on Chrome. If you're on IE, we should have most of it covered. If you're on IE 8, I cry for you. Ask you to upgrade. You will find issues, and I will probably refuse to fix them. Yeah, if according to IITC your browser has more than 3% market share, we probably support it at some level. If you have more than 7% market share, I think it is, we support full functionality.
Guys, we have 2 or 3 more can't log to the SUT. I post the emails in the Hangout chat.
Okay.
3%. Jason, do you mean like IE or do you mean IE 11, 10, 9?
IE 11.9, yeah.
But I mean, are we? So let's say the IE family of browsers has, I don't know, 25% market share, right? But IE 8 only has 2%. Do how thin are you slicing your definition of the percents?
We slice based on major browser revision. So we have different support levels for Chrome 34 than we do for Chrome 35.
Okay.
But all of the Chrome 35s are considered under one support level.
Okay. So every major browser revision with more than 3% share.
Yeah.
So the pre-Firefox and current version of Firefox, the big number releases, you'd look at those separately to see if they have that 3% share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Mike, this email you gave me, he's having trouble logging in?
That's what he posted, yes.
Okay. Can you pick a new password for him, tell him what it is, and put it in chat for me, and I'll reset it?
Me? For the SUT? With the judge login? Ah, you do?
Yeah, I can reset his password, but pardon me if I don't want to email any of the competitors directly myself.
Yeah, sure. That way I can do. Thanks.
There you go. There's a new password. And I will let Mike tell him what his new password is.
Yeah.
Any documentation to review? You could review the Vendasto website for claims and brand. Whoa! What are you?
Oh, you can see my screen?
I can see your screen. Yeah, I'm gonna click away from that.
This is apparently 800 salespeople breaking my salesperson administration interface.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. It's gonna suck for the guy whose password I'm trying to reset. I'm gonna have to use a different tool to reset his password.
Okay.
Thankfully, I have multiple.
So there were a couple of people that said they did not, that their users couldn't log in, right? And if that's you, please leave a comment at the top, because the amount of comments is overwhelming at this point. And we'll try to get you set up. What are the most used features of the web app? Are you able to extract data from the website to tools such as Excel or Word? Oh, there's another one. Bump. And test side, the whole test side story team. Let's see here. While we wait, we've got a whole group, internationally renowned group of judges here that are on the Hangout with me. While we, and I really don't want to ask Jason to multitask and try to do 6 things at one time, so we're going to try to get some logins for the people who don't have logins, which would be the most fair. But maybe while we wait, we can talk to some of our judges about what they do and why they're here, if that's fair. So it's Patrick is not in the Hangout, is he? No. So let's start with.
I am.
You are.
Yes. Yeah. Now you should see me also.
Yeah.
There I am.
Hey, so Patrick Prill is a guy I know from Twitter. Tell us about Patrick and where's home and what you do.
My home is in Munich, Germany, or near Munich. So, and yeah, I'm a test lead for a small company doing software for the automotive industry. I have a small team here. Yeah, since I have not enough participants to join in the software test workshop, I said, okay, why not judge the whole thing and see what the rest of the world got here.
Yeah.
Very looking forward to all the test reports, all the bug reports, and all the work that comes up the next weeks.
It's going to be a lot of work. We're going to have a lot of judging to do. Yeah. So, but it's only one continent, so we get Europe knocked out, and unless you want to volunteer for Asia, which is really challenging, we'll Okay, what's new and exciting for you though? What's the hottest, newest thing that's going on in Testerland in Germany?
Just on, I think all the news that's coming through from all that session-based test management stuff, all those new ideas. Yeah, I worked for a bigger company, and we were mostly, STWC based and that stuff. So then to have finally new approaches out of the factory school, outside of that, and trying out a lot. And my company allows me to, so it's fun to do.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Are you going to be in Potsdam in November for the Worlds? It's just across the street, right?
Nah, not really. From your position, yes. But from a German position, no. We will see. We will see.
Okay. All right, Patrick. Thanks. Let's go from Germany to the Netherlands, where we have
one question in between.
Sure.
Jason, could you check in the Hangout if the URL salestool-demo.appspot.com/login/ is the right one? That is one where the one team has problems to log in even with the new password.
Yeah, they're at the wrong URL. It should be STWC.salestool-demo.appspot.com.
Could you just type them there? Because my German, English, hearing always mess it up, E and I and R, and then we can post it in the comments.
Coming.
Thanks.
I appear to have posted it twice, but...
settings are in scope, right, Jason?
Yes.
Okay.
From Richard Bradshaw, he asks, I said email is in scope, but it says that no email will be sent. There's two separate email systems. The email that it's talking about that says no emails will be sent until converted to pay is for the actual products, whereas when you're in editing a snapshot report, there's an explicit email this report to a person link, and that's the email that's in scope.
Okay. So we're asked what kind of scraping solution are we using? Can you support non-UTF-8? And I was just about to type, should support UTF-8 English-like languages, so French, Canadian, and Spanish. Is that even right? I don't even know.
We should have full UTF-8 support.
Okay.
If they type it in, we should spit it out, and it should look exactly the same. Scraping-wise, you should, in theory, be able to, it won't pre-look, you could do a London or Germany-based business. The search feature is not going to find it for you. but that blank form that you get when you when it fails to search, you can put anything you want in there. So yeah, you could put in a German company in there whose website's all in German. We won't notice. We'll scrape it anyway. We'll give it grades anyway. I have no idea how well that will perform. It might be interesting.
Yeah, but Hebrew, Greek, you support that?
We should. I haven't done explicit testing with right to left languages opposed to left to right languages, or vertical languages like Japanese. I know I can print the characters, but I don't know how well we parse when it's not left to right.
Do we expect Japanese and Chinese to really work?
Not really.
Yeah. We don't really support. I'm just typing in the answer. Japanese.
Okay, I'm trying to find the next email that I gotta fix. There it is. So, test side story. I'm fixing yours now.
So do you have, I'm going to put these, Scott Hamilton, Ian Newman, and Sarah Wilkins. Those are test side story, right?
The email that I'm given for fixing test side story was BobIM6.
That's weird. They just direct messaged me what I put in, the chat. So I'll ask.
Okay, I'm using the password that's in the channel for them.
BobIM6@what.com.
I gotta look at it again. There were a couple people that when I created accounts, their accounts didn't create because their email had been used by another team, and one person who didn't give an email at all. So where's that BobIM one? BobIM6@gmail.com. And it says test side story.
All right. Well, I'll Twitter them and say we're doing BobIM6, and if you need more, let me know.
Yeah. The next one I'm going to fix will be Charlie. I'm not going to butcher your last name. Sorry, Charlie. But from realoldmen.com.
So Ash Winter is asking what tests already exist for this site. And I'm replying, what do you mean? It compiles, it deploys, and you can log.
Your voice cut out, Matt.
Yeah, it probably muted me when I was typing. Ash Winter asks, what tests already exist for the site? And I replied, what do you mean? It compiles, you can deploy it, and you can log in Chrome.
I will answer that.
Well, you're nice. You're a nice guy.
I know. Well, just wait till they hear my answer. I have 2 testers currently assigned to this product. They're unfortunately also assigned to another product, and this one is their lowest priority. We release weekly, and they do feature tests weekly. They attempt to find time to do regression tests weekly. There is a very, very happy path Selenium test that verifies that I can log in and create an account with a known phone number. That's about it.
So log in, create account with known phone number is the Happy Path Selenium automation. All right.
Yeah. So Charlie from Real Old Men, your password has been reset. Box UK, Sarah Wilkins, we'll do you next. As soon as I find my mouse.
I also need a password for the Charlie Misson.
I used the one you gave me earlier. I'm going to keep using that one.
Same one? Okay, good.
Do we consider to include the possibility to save the snapshot for future offline use?
Yeah, actually, I think that's a pretty viable option. And if it doesn't work, I'd certainly like to know about it.
Okay. Is this application having help? Is it localized or translated in other languages? I know the second answer is no.
We have not done any translations yet.
Is there even, if you log in, we've got it up, right? No, that's the settings page.
That's me making Sarah Wilkins. Sarah Wilkins. Oh boy.
But does the app even have help? Really?
There was a minor help system built into it. Once upon a time, there was some round icons with a question mark that you could click on that would give you better information. We have a new help system coming, but it's still in development. Sarah Wilkins. Apparently, I already created your account. And so let's look you up.
What technologies are used for the application? They want to know what databases are in the back end. We can tell them Google App Engine.
Yeah, we use Google App Engine. They use a NoSQL database called Datastore or NDB. If that means anything to you and helps you out, cool. Frankly, I doubt it.
Is there a standard
frameworks? We use Web App 2 and a mixture of Django and Jinja. Sarah Wilkins. Okay. Sarah Wilkins, I don't know why you can't log in. Your account exists.
That's the Django is a Rails-like framework for PHP.
No, well, not the way we use it. We're a Python shop.
Right, it's the Rails engine for Python. I mean, by Rails I mean model view controller and convention over configuration and a bunch of magical other stuff that happens.
Yeah,
right.
Django is a framework. There are a web framework. There are implementations in it for multiple back-end languages. Python is one of such.
Is there a standard mobile devices the user will be issued with? It's bring your own data, bring your own device.
Yep.
iPads are a popular reasonable use case.
Okay, Miss Wilkins, your password should be this. Let's find out.
Wow, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah. It's different being in my chair, hey? For those of you who don't know, for the North American competition, I did what Matt was doing and asked all the questions of the PO. And okay, Miss Wilkins, I was able to access your account using your default password. I will put your default password in my chat window so that you and your entire team should all have your accounts available on the default password. Mike, I will give it to Mike and he will pass it on to you. And yes, our passwords allow capital letters, spaces, and special characters. So if you use such in your team name, it's in your password.
Ah.
Looks like I got one more account to fix, which is Anthony Lawlor from Edge Testing. No.
What's acceptable, reasonable performance for search? How slow is too slow?
That's a good question. I would say within 5 seconds it should either give you a blank form or give you options for filling in the form.
Want to make it 6? Let's make it 6. So in 5 seconds is not a problem, but 6 is. Are there any enhancements planned? It's kind of an odd question.
Yeah, we do have some enhancements planned. None that should affect your testing currently. We have a help system coming that will help users understand what each of the sections of the report is for, and to help them create the accounts.
Don't interrupt.
We've got more search providers coming too. Yeah, Mike?
I think the question was more in, are you interested in enhancement ideas from the teams? So that was a common theme in the other STWC events as well. So we always went ahead with, okay, yes, it's valid, as long as it's not the majority of your testing effort.
Yeah. If you want to put some enhancement ideas in your report based on your experience with the app, I'm more than welcome to that. If you want to file them as bugs, I would remind you that you're not a you're unlikely to be a domain expert or know what's already in my backlog.
Sure. Question, I can click on a pie chart and hide the items in the reputation monitor. Is that a feature?
Okay, let me get that straight. You can click on a pie chart?
That's what they're saying.
Yes, the pie charts are based on high charts. If you were able to do that, and that wedge of the pie chart was also not there in the end user version of the report, that would be very interesting to me. The high charts are very customizable, but it's a user interaction customizable. Your changes to your pie chart shouldn't exist once you get to the customer view.
Okay. Shoot. So, Inosia Razvan Kostia needs to get his password reset, and I can't figure out his address. There. Oh, that's Bobim6. Did we already reset him?
If I get him, his password is the one that's already in our private chat.
Okay.
So I've been asked to repeat in scope, out of scope for those that missed. It's pretty simple. If it's in scope, if it says sales tool in your URL bar. If it doesn't say sales tool in your URL bar, it can be you can go there as an oracle, but any bugs you find there are out of scope. Also out of scope is any form of load testing. We're hosted on Google App Engine, so if you do load testing, you're not testing my application, you're testing Google App Engine infrastructure, and I will send you a bill.
So could you put the password you're using in the chat again?
Should be there. My chat window is running a little bit slow, but I
posted it.
Yeah.
If it's still always the same. Was it already sent out to Sarah Wilkins, or was it supposed I send it out?
Sarah Wilkins' password I didn't change because her
the original
password did work. I verified that.
Good.
So,
Can we
so
just,
the people,
yes, go ahead.
the people from Test Side Story that are talking to me on the back channel say they can't create accounts. They can log in but not create accounts. The same problem Sarah Wilkins said she is having in the same problem Sarah Wilkins said she's having in the chat conversation. Wow, that's a lot of questions. We're really trying to do the best we can to answer the questions, folks.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah, if you tune into your stream, let's take a look. I just gotta find your username and password. Nope, no, you're not that one. You are that one. Okay, so they're reporting that cannot create accounts. Puerto Rico.
Ooh, are wildcard searches supported? If you search for, say, A star, wait, no. What if it was like question mark, question mark, question mark, and you had one company called AAA and one company called EAA and a bunch of other stuff?
You should either get back an empty form or some options. I don't know how useful the options would be.
But are wildcard searches supposed to work?
Not particularly. The general use case is a salesperson knows what company they're going to go to try to sell to, so they're setting up this report so they can give it to them or show it to them when they get to the site.
Okay. Any known bugs in the system from testing before that we haven't bothered to fix?
None that I know of that are currently in our bug tracker. There may be one or two that the developer knows about that I don't.
So for our purposes, just report them all.
Yeah. Okay, should accounts created be linked to a login so they can be seen on multiple devices logged into by the same user? If you are using the same salesperson ID, i.e. you're logging, I just created an account for Christie's Il Secondo on Sarah Wilkins' account. If Sarah Wilkins logs into her account now, it should show up. If I didn't answer your question, please let me know. Who will maintain the system, the sales users or a set of admin users? I'm going to have to make a guess by what you mean by maintain. Who's going to convert these demo accounts to paid? A separate team does that. Who's going to delete accounts that are no longer needed? The salesperson does that. There's an X on the far right hand of that manage account screens that lets them delete the accounts. Mike, didn't I recover the in-scope, out-of-scope?
I was not listening to that actually. So if you repeat it already, it's good.
Anything
Thanks.
that causes the URL to change such that it's clearly no longer this application, right? So if sales-tool is no longer in your URL because you've gone to a different Vendasta tool, then you're out of scope. Now that also
the links to those out of scope areas should work.
right.
Once you're in those out of scope areas, it's considered Oracle data as opposed to in-scope testing. And I really shouldn't need to say it again. Do not load test my application. I will send you a Sorry if we're a little bit sensitive about this. Somebody load tested the Asia local last week and caused the competition to end early.
And he actually load tested on the wrong URL, which made it worse. So it was not even the SUT, which has all the load balancer and could have handled it. But he did it on the wrong URL, which was connected to that, and that brought all the servers down. But yeah, still a bad experience. And just a short interrupt, I would try to invite Felix Bergauer from our HP bug tracker tool into the Hangout. He was interested how it looks on the front side of the event. We will see if it gets working on his mobile. So if somebody joins, then we will introduce him then.
Jackie has forwarded a question for me here that says, can I also quickly repeat the browser device support compatibility? Generally, if your screen is bigger than 4 inches on a mobile device, and your experience is poor, I want to know about it. We expect to support that. If your browser has more than 3% international share, I should be supporting it at some level. So please don't tell me that I don't render correctly in Gecko. Gecko has like 0.05% browser share.
That's awesome. Does it render properly in what was the old one? Gopher.
It does not render at all in Gopher. On a weekly basis, I test it with major versions in Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. I do not explicitly test for Opera, but it should work because Opera uses the same render engine as one of the other browsers. I forget which one it is.
So there's actually a Twitter user named Test Side Story who's Zeger Van Heis, who's not playing today, and a team named Test Side Story, and this is causing confusion on the Twitters. Because people are saying, ha ha ha, Zeger, you can't get in, and he's replying, what? No, huh? What? I'm not even playing. It's kind of funny. There's just an incredibly huge amount of questions on the...
You know, Matt, I'm enjoying answering the questions instead of trying to keep on top of them. This is great.
How do you pitch this tool to the business?
This tool is part of a package, and we do pitch it to the business as part of pitching the entire package. It's pitched as an extra tool in the toolbox for the salespeople who are trying to sell the suite. It allows them to create accounts for customers at a nominal fee per account as opposed to our monthly fee per account. And it allows them to talk to the end business about how they're stacking up versus their competition. If these reports are set up correctly and the salesperson actually checks that competitors field down at the bottom to make sure that those actually are the competitors for the business, it sells a really compelling story about, oh, you know, you're the bakery down the street is doing more Facebook than you are, and we can see what effect that's having.
That's totally awesome. We should talk about this for my business. I own a small business, and we are all social media-y. Is Opera in the supported browsers?
Is Opera in a supported browser?
Is it still a browser?
Well, they use it in a lot of cell phones in Europe, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Nokia or something, or
Nokia,
Ericsson. One of those guys uses it.
I haven't explicitly tested about it, but if it's a common browser in Europe, I do want to know about it. Jackie's posted another question in our private chat. Can a company have multiple demo accounts? Are there any checks for duplicates, etc., by company email? That email field that gets filled in there basically gets thrown away until they convert to pay. So yes, it's possible to have the same company in there hundreds of times. There's a small bar in Portland, Oregon that has about 100 accounts on our system because we all like it. So we use it as test data.
In Portland, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I get out there. How far are you? You're near Vancouver? I didn't think you were that far west.
No, we're nowhere near Portland, but
okay.
We discovered this bar. They have really good web presence.
Okay, so like a good example of they're a good example to load when you're saying, hey, when you look at similar bars, then, yeah, right.
No, they have really good exemplar data. They get a lot of reviews online on the various review sources. When we first found them, they had a small problem with their online listings. Their address was listed wrong on a couple listings. So it was a really good exemplar for us to exercise the system with. So we got a couple hundred copies of that business in the system.
So it looks like Opera has a 1.8% market share for all of Opera combined. So we're going to say no, based on what you said earlier. I posted that as an answer already. Should we see businesses not created by us using the search function? I'm assuming that's here's your list of your businesses that are your businesses, and then you click on the search and it shows fewer.
So I think they can still see my screen. I'm still logged into Sarah Wilkins. I haven't reloaded it, so I'm not giving away any. There's a search by name, location, phone number here. That search is only for the accounts that are created, whereas the search inside create account is search for businesses you could create for. And now that I look at my screen, I will log out of Sarah Williams before I give away.
So that's not on the manage account screen. No. Ooh, so James Svenzer is starting a little late, huh? He just posted, "Can we start now?" Damien said, "Yes."
Welcome to the competition. You'll probably want to review the questions that have already been answered. I think Matt's been doing a pretty good job of transcribing all of my answers.
Yeah, well, we've only gotten a small percentage. It's overwhelming, but we're trying. Is the company planning to expand to Eastern Europe?
Eastern Europe, you mean like Ukraine, etc.?
I would assume that means Latvia, Romania, Lithuania, Estonia, maybe as far as Ukraine. That'd probably be the end of it, right? Then you're into Asia after that.
Yeah.
Bulgaria.
I will answer this question to the best that I can. We do not have a translator currently on staff. Our current target is English language, or anything that can be treated as if it's English language. So we do some Spanish in the States and in Mexico. Our website remains in English, but we still process the Spanish websites, etc. Some of the answers get looking a little bit dumb, but
right, because the Nordic languages and the Russian languages can be significantly different than the Romance and the Germanic languages, right? So, but if they had a website that was in English, you could do it.
Yeah. Basically, the two really good qualifiers for a business that we'd want to try to sell to is a small, medium business that wants to encourage either online traffic or foot traffic. Specifically foot traffic, we specialize in businesses that have a bricks and mortar location, because almost everything we do is location based, and try to help them have a web presence on top of their bricks and mortar presence.
Try business with a strong web presence that has a strong physical location.
Yeah. They don't need a strong web presence. That's one of the things we're trying to help them with. Should we take into account accessibility tests? How do you prioritize this kind of test? We haven't done a lot of accessibility testing except for color blindness. We probably should. How would I prioritize it? I'm going to leave that up to you. I've told you my lowest priority is security, and my highest priority is mobile. Beyond that, it's up to you to fill in the middle.
And just an interrupt here. So some of the questions we also willingly ignore, since that is really up to the team to decide. It's any tester should use their own testing experience in figuring out if a typo could be really considered a critical bug type or not, or how would they approach the SUT for their testing. So these kind of questions we mostly ignore, because that would really like doing the testing for you, basically.
I'm looking through the list of questions Jackie's posted here. Are there any performance advice, any other related improvements viable to you from a client side perspective? I'm guessing what you're asking here is, do I care about the performance? Yes. If any of the pages are slow loading while we're doing this, and slow, I mean like longer than 5 seconds, although you should have something visible on your screen, but maybe not interactive within a second. If you are violating that, if anything you do repeatedly violates that, file it. Are there UI UX test results other than RWD valuable to you? I don't even know what that sentence means. I'm sorry, I don't know what RWD is. Do one of the other judges know what RWD is?
RWD? Let me find this. Let's find the comment. RWD? Are there any UI UX test results other than RWD valuable for you? Well, let's Google RWD UI UX. Learn something new every day.
Yeah. While you're looking that up, I'll look at question 4 in Jackie's list, which is, how would I define internationalization requirements regarding this application? If you are using an internationalized keyboard, you should still be able to interact with it. If you have non-North American currency, number, whatever settings, you should be able to interact with it. It will not be in your language because we haven't updated it to be in other languages. It's always in English. Our technology is there so that we can do those translations, but we haven't done them yet. And so my current internationalization efforts are, does it work in English in other countries? And thank you, Guna. I did miss nickyorg@gmail.com. I will check that account right now.
RWD is responsible web design.
Ah, yes.
Which I only figured out through context. It didn't actually say it.
Yes.
So if you Google RWD, you get a bunch of things that eventually my brain went, oh, they're talking about response. They never define it. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Cool. Yes, we do responsive web design. Am I interested in other results other than responsive web design? Yes.
Oh, we need to get off that screen.
Hmm?
Oh, we had it on your screen, and you were in the somebody's account password configuration management-y stuff. I just lost my video. What? That's weird. Internationalization requirements, CUTF-8.
So Mike, nickyorg@gmail.com needs to be sent their password.
Will do.
Oh, I have so many copies of that. Okay, you can show my screen again if you want. I suppose I could turn off my screen share because you guys pretty much don't need it anymore. And then people can, I don't know if they want to, but they can see me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Katu.
Hello.
If you want to meet Jason in person, he will be at CAST conference for the Association for Software Testing in New York City on August 9th, I think, maybe? No, the 11th.
No, 9th is test camp.
Test Retreat, which is August 9th, also in New York City. Jason will also be at. He is a 3-time attendee at test coach camp events, test retreat, I don't know what to call them. Testing open space events. So.
If you know testers in Canada that want to move to the Grand Ole Prairies, I'm hiring.
Hey, if you can work legally in the United States and need no paperwork or sponsorship, Exelon Development has contract openings in West Michigan right now. Yeah. So, just saying. Oh man, more. I should get back to the questions. How important for you is the security of the information emailed by the email report tool?
That's a good question, and I'm glad somebody asked it. The link to the report in the email is completely unauthenticated. If someone else has a copy of that link, they can go to that page. It's done that way on purpose. That being said, there's a second link in that email to reset your business center password, and that gives you an ability to log in to the actual demo account as opposed to the sales tool, and that should be secure. That reset password link should only work once. Andre says, as a user, can I email the same business report with different settings to different customers? You can email different customers, but the settings are for that account. And so you can email out the report, change the settings, and when the user checks the report, they will have the changed settings. That's known functionality. If you wanted to send the same business with different settings to different users, you would have to create the business multiple times.
Is it okay that the application runs not on a secure protocol? In other words, HTTP instead of HTTPS.
Yes, that is expected. The password is submitted over HTTPS and validated on a back channel that, for lack of a better term, not hackable. There is, security, known bug. There is a known session hijack bug. that is in the backlog.
That's interesting. What was it? Oh yeah, the deadline. We know that. That's 9 p.m. Berlin time.
You muted again, Matt.
Right, that happens when I type and talk at the same time. Sorry. What will be the deadline? Jano Svenfer is asking because he's he's saying we started late. Actually, we started and then stopped and then restarted. But same thing, 9 p.m. Berlin time. Deadline for bug reports and test reports. Just like any other real software product where you're supposed to have a week to do testing and then software's a day late. Now you have 4 days to do testing, right? How important is it to be able to email the report? It's pretty important, right?
It's our newest functionality. It hasn't been released to our end users yet. It's just now, in the past week, made it up to the demo environment, which is where you guys are testing.
But it's like if that doesn't work, that's a problem.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So we're being asked if it's designed for mobile phones. It's more like iPads and iPad minis, right?
Yeah. If it, as I said, if it's got a really horrible experience on anything over 4 inches, I want to know about it. Primary design is around an iPad, though.
Well, that's interesting. Look at the YouTube. Let's take. I'm going to take this comment to Skype. You guys, other judges, you might want to look at Skype.
I didn't sign into Skype today. Whoops.
If you get on, Jason, I'll invite you. We've got a judges hangout that's going.
Yeah, I got Skype.
In addition to the hangout, we've got the judges Skypey thing.
Yeah, that one is already forwarded, so we could not, should just not talk about that yet, to not stir up sleeping bears, kind of.
Yeah, but basically, you know, how should I put that? I'm sorry, I'm going to type this in, but discuss it with the judges before I share it.
I just realized the camera looks like I'm rolling my eyes a lot. It has more to do with the angle of the camera, and you can see the projector in the back. I'm viewing everything on a like 65-inch projection screen, so I'm not rolling my eyes. My primary monitor is the projection screen right now. Yeah, that's not
What's the name of this app? The Sales Tool app?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody check the Skype, and I've got to add. I'll add Jason to Skype.
Manhauser, there we go.
Just added Jason. Does that seem reasonable?
Let me pull it down to my other screen.
Should I say it out loud?
I would probably skip the
Yeah.
discovering sentence entirely, unless you want to say negative bonus point.
Well, I mean, it's just exploring, but yeah.
It's not
But
the
wrong.
same test.
But this.
No.
Yeah. I think you're right. How about this? Like that. Yep, that's one I'm gonna write up.
There it is.
I'm sorry, I've got it. I'll be right back. I'm hearing something.
Yeah.
That's probably just the mailman. It's probably just the mailman.
Okay.
I heard somebody in my house, and there's nobody home. It's the mailman. Let me answer that question then.
So I'm seeing a problem logging in for Demini Tamas. Let me just check the logs, see what's up.
Okay, I've answered to that question on the YouTube channel, and we can get back to work. Regular expressions in search function, not really. You should just type in the literal company name, right?
Yeah.
So let's remember our users are going to be somewhat non-technical salespeople trying to go and go to a small business to get them to use Vendasta products. Right?
Exactly.
Are email reports supposed to be I think they mean retroactively editable. I think you've already answered that. Yes, if you change the settings, they'll show up in the reports which are generated on the fly. So my notes say it's 1:30 Eastern Time, which means we are halfway through the competition. If you haven't yet with your team, you might be starting to talk about what do we know, and what can we say, and how are we going to say it? Because you're going to have to email the reports back to us. It's amazing how fast the time goes. How much time should it take to generate a report? You said 10 minutes earlier, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to take about 10 minutes to generate a report. I think if you try to access a report early, it tells you that it's supposed to take 10 minutes. I've seen it take less. I've seen it take more. If it consistently takes more, that's an issue. If it takes more because the page is really kind of strange, that's an important issue for me to see.
There is only one link to report. Is that correct behavior? I don't know what that means, but I think so.
Only one link to report.
I think that means when you email yourself a report, you get one link.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So I'm writing on the page, I think that's correct. One link to the report in the email and a reset password link.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, in
Yes,
the Hangout, I sent you some email address from some guy who locked himself out. Could you reset it, please?
The Demini Tamas one?
No, the last one. PN Tomixer.
I don't know how they've locked themselves out would be the issue. I can reset passwords easily enough. Well, I can't because that screen's broken right now. I'm supposed to be able to. There's a API I can do it over if I know there's salesperson ID, but it's with 800 salespeople attached to this partner, it's breaking one of my main interface screens.
So Daniel Deck on Twitter is saying that they have a different problem. His team can see all the registered issues for every team, forcing him to cheat. He must be misconfigured as an instructor accidentally or something, as a judge or something.
Send me the email and I forward it to the bug people.
Okay.
So, if you're having login issues, this is really important, so we should probably transcribe this onto the channel. If you're having any sort of login issue, you've logged out and now you can't log back in, a lot of this is done with cookie management. Clear all of your cookies for this domain and it should fix the problem. If it doesn't, please let me know. As in raise an issue in the YouTube channel. Hopefully you're able to continue testing. Every team should have multiple testing accounts, unless you're a team of one. If you're a team of one and you're locked out, I really want to fix that for you, so let me know.
I should probably try to log into Agile Manager. See if I can see what they're talking about.
So that last email you gave me, Mike, I don't see anything in the logs from them logging in more recently than an hour ago. So if they've tried to log in more recently than an hour ago, they probably have a typo somewhere.
Okay, we'll answer him.
Thank you.
I'm seeing a bunch of bugs. Ton of them. What is that? Where are they supposed to put their team name in a drop-down, Mike?
Sorry, was just answering the email. What was your question on HP?
Where are they supposed to put the team name? Is it
It's when they create a bug, an issue.
Yeah.
One of the fields at the bottom above the description field should be application.
Yeah.
And it should be, filled with the team names.
Okay, so I haven't done this since we graded USA, right? So I may be confused. Because I can see all of the bugs, but that's just because I'm an administrator.
Exactly.
Okay.
Jackie has posted something for me from Christian, and they asked, can a report be generated again? So would the customer see updated data after a week? This is actually a really good question and something I should have highlighted earlier. The reports are generated on the fly when they're accessed based on the settings that have been saved for up to a week. After a week, the demo becomes stale and stops updating. it will continue to show what it showed when it got to be a week old, indefinitely. Does that answer make sense?
So I'm being told on Twitter by one team that everyone can see everyone else's issues. The accounts were misconfigured. And everyone has access to every other account for Agile Manager, for the bug tracker. Is this true? Please let me know on Twitter or the YouTube channel, because that would make grading much more challenging. That would make playing much more challenging. Is there a version number they should be using when filing bugs, Jason? Does it matter?
No. I know what version they're on because they're all testing today.
Okay. Is there any kind of session timeout on login? Did someone already ask that? And we already answered that. And I zoomed out.
No, I didn't answer that. Is there a timeout for logins? As long as you're interacting with the page, you shouldn't get logged out. If you do not interact with a page for any page for an hour, you should time out. So probably not something easy for you guys to test during the testing competition.
Well, they could test in a browser that we've got a little over an hour left, but they could test in a browser they're not using.
Yeah, it would have to be like a completely separate browser though, because of how the session management is done.
Right. Couldn't be a new tab. Couldn't be a new tab, yep. How can we send information to a demo account? I don't know.
Say that one again, Matt?
How can we send information to a demo account?
I'm guessing this means how do we email the report to the person, the target email that you want to send it to, i.e. the customer whose report you've generated. Top right-hand corner of the edit report screen has an email report link.
Okay. So at least one team reported in that they only see their own bugs. That's good. All right, back to questions. Are we supposed to test snapshot reports?
Yes. That is the central element of what we were testing, is the snapshot reports. If you ended up on a URL that says snapshotreports.biz, I would find that very, very interesting, because that's our production environment, not our demo environment. If it's snapshot reports demo.biz, that would be quasi-expected.
So, someone writes, I've managed to insert some scripts into the page and make the accounts form completely inaccessible. I cannot use the manage accounts form. Can you help me to delete my accounts?
Yes.
I'll ask for his email address.
Yeah.
Jason, I
Yeah,
post you some comment from the guy who locked himself out. It seems like a genuine bug which he entered already, but that bug seems to really have locked him out. So to not give away his information.
Yeah, I just got to find where you posted it. Sorry. Multitasking at its finest.
Yep.
Wi-Fi settings are what you say. Oh. Oh. Mike, is he on a one-person team?
Not quite sure.
If he's on a one-person team, I'll try and do something about this, but if he's not, I have to share accounts with someone else on his team because what he did shouldn't have been doable. And I have no idea how I'm going to fix this without creating him a new account.
Cool. Let me see if I find his my Excel list with the team members.
Matt, you put up an email there. What's up with that account?
They need their password reset so they can log in.
They've already logged in once?
I think so.
If they've already logged in once and clearing their cookies doesn't fix them, then they've done something like this other gentleman, at which point they need to use another account from their testing.
Okay, so the thing says, I'm from the Quality Explorers team. One of our team members has a problem with login to the sales tool. Maybe they haven't ever logged in. Would you please set the login credentials for blah?
I'll check that email to find out if I have an account for them. If they don't, I can create a new account. But yeah, as I said, I discovered this morning that all of my manage salesperson screens are busted with this many salespeople.
Okay, my guy is in a 3-person team, so I advise him to enter his information via some others, and to do the testing via some other people's account.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Jason type for a minute. So let's go to the Netherlands, where we have Jackie, who is one of our judges. Jackie Frank, right?
Yes, correct. Hi, I don't have a webcam, so you'll have to do with my my picture.
I think the audience will see a picture of you that is the growing circle as you get louder and quieter. But there's a picture of you.
Okay, so I guess they'll have to do with that. Yeah, Netherlands, tester. I work as a test engineer, test analyst, test coordination at T-Mobile right now in the Netherlands, in The Hague. I've been testing for a bit more than 3 years now, and I decided would be fun to judge this competition since I was not in a team. And I'm really enjoying it so far, so that's good. So keep coming up with your questions and whatever you want to know, right?
Wait till you get to the part where we have to actually go through and wade through. I don't know how many. I think we're gonna triage it, right? So we're gonna slice the different teams up by the different judges, and then the top 5 teams for every judge. We're gonna come back and judge those. But it's gonna be a lot of work. It's okay. So tell us about your interest in testing. What's new and exciting that you're doing right now, Jackie?
Well, I actually just did a presentation on the TestNet conference on one of my first testing experiences, which was really nice. And I also got into the Eurostar conferences for this year. And I will be presenting something on assumptions and testing. So that's going to be really cool. But that's going to be November, so I have some time to prepare that.
Well, tell us about assumptions in testing.
Well, we're not supposed to make assumptions, right? That's what we were told. And but I've also noticed that we always make assumptions, and that's basically a paradox. And I think it's good to explore that paradox and to become more aware of your assumptions, so you know which ones you need to test and how you can avoid the pitfalls that comes with assumptions. And I think it's a really interesting premise. And I also have quite a few real-life examples of how assumptions sometimes go wrong. And I'm really looking forward to be spotting assumptions here too. There will probably be many.
Right. If you start, so I agree. If you start playing the aha, you're assuming game, you end up with a bunch of questions you have to get the customer to validate, and just getting those questions answered would take longer than the length of the testing would be, right? So you have to do some sort of risk-reward balance for your questions and your verifying assumptions.
Exactly. It's not necessarily a bad thing to make assumptions because, you know, otherwise we wouldn't even be able to communicate. So,
right,
yeah, it will become a really big hassle. And some people even go as far as saying that all knowledge is an assumption. So, but I think it would just be good if we're more aware of it, and then you can also test your assumptions, maybe in hindsight, or so it's yeah, something you can play with.
Is anybody here a philosopher?
Yeah, a little bit. Me.
Yeah? Can you define knowledge?
Define knowledge.
Yeah. So I was at a conference once, and somebody said something like that, and I stood up and I said, "Justified true belief."
Yeah.
And the guy said, "That just proves that you've read a little bit of Plato." So I thought that was amusing. So,
yeah.
Right. There's a guy named Thomas Vaniotis who's actually done a lightning talk about, I can probably Google it, justified true belief, and of course he's saying that we really can't ever know anything as testers. We just there's
test.
You know, how do you know that your justified true belief is justified, or even that it's true? It's just anyway. Sorry, it's
Yeah, but that's the kind of discussions you get when you really get down to what is an assumption and what is not an assumption. Then you realize that everything is an assumption, but we have to live with some of them.
Probably out of scope for our.
Yeah.
But thanks. Cool. Before we get back to Jason, let's finish our roundup with the Netherlands and drop by Zwolle, where we have Pascal Dufour, another one of our judges. Hello, Pascal. Oh, Pascal's muted. He had his kids in the background earlier. Right? Are you on, Pascal, or did you go get a sandwich?
Well, he might I think he posted in Skype a few minutes ago that he was going to be away for a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't keep up with all the different things. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to the Netherlands in a minute. Right now, we're back in Canada with Jason. And is our backlog of email resets cleared out?
As far as I know, I did the 3 that you gave me.
Okay. Is Alina Ionasu is asking, is there a limit for upload picture? I'm assuming that means file size?
I'd completely forgotten about the upload picture. Not that I know of, although anything over several megs will probably break the system. I did not test it with very large pictures. It's meant for headshots of the salespeople. I think the largest file I tried with it was like 2 or 3 megs.
Okay. Should other users see account report of some other user? Furthermore, should they be able to edit the account of other user?
No, and this is something explicitly that I was worried about, that these salespeople are all members, all of your test accounts, i.e. the account that you log into as opposed to the account you create. I'll call them salespeople. So you guys log in as salespeople. A salesperson should only see small business accounts for small businesses they have created. If they're seeing small businesses for someone else, for some other login, and you can both edit it, that is very worrisome to me. I'm looking at the resource usage graph for the application since the competition started, and no intentional stress test, but it's stressing the system.
That's interesting. There's a bug that I'm going to... Whoa, it's long URL. But I'm posting it into... This is for the judges. That was posted in the YouTube video you might be interested in. Are there any restrictions with regard to the visibility of the reports generated by the snapshot? Any restrictions with regards to the visibility of the report generated by the snapshot? Oh, no, right. Anyone with a link can see it. The web is crashed. I can't log in.
I'm sorry, I didn't follow that.
Yes, my reply was, period. You'll have to be a little more specific. Someone is asking, who is speaking? You have a beautiful voice. Must have been Jackie.
Because no one ever says that about you and I, Matt.
It's not a comment I get often.
I don't think I ever got it. So thanks.
Oh, so Gurgly Brodagam says he found a different way to test session timeout without the need to wait for an hour. what that was. I wonder if his session timeout is in JavaScript and he's just changing his computer clock. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I look forward to reading that bug report. If you find the bug.
Somebody hacked one of our bugs. Well, that's interesting. Don't know what that means.
Yeah, that means that in the bug tracker tool, somebody is using this exploit. But
well, don't do that.
In the log files, yeah, you do it on your own risk and will probably be excluded from the competition.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing chutney. Sorry, my lunch came.
How do they know it was hacked, and what does hacked mean? We're talking about defect number 51.
Yeah, that basically somebody changed it. Deleted some info attachment, changed it in a different way. That's my assumption now. I don't have the time to look into the bug tracker at the moment.
It was created.
The next meeting is starting now. No, it's not.
I'm not seeing it in the history. So I'm looking in the history of that bug, and I'm not seeing anything in there.
Then you're looking on the re-instance. It's the middle one.
No, it shouldn't be.
3 instances.
Oh, it's a different. No, the one I'm looking at says hacked in the title of the bug.
Yeah, I see that too, and I see it in the history who did it.
I'm not seeing what they did there.
You can see it too. Send you a screenshot.
I see the word hacked. Injected. Was that the change? They injected the word hacked?
Yeah. That's
well,
it.
Okay. It says somebody hacked. That's weird.
And the one above also.
Number 50?
Yep. But the only change again.
Stop doing that. You don't need to test Agile Manager. If you find problems, well, the way Agile Manager works is you have an instance for your organization. And those people are behind the firewall, or it's an instance that you give out to people in your organization. So the ability to segment in Agile Manager, since somebody needs to mute. Somebody's on speaker. But the ability to segment in Agile Manager is so to simplify viewing and reporting, but it's not really. This is not like a financial application or an application where they're going to sell it to both Google and Microsoft and they can look at each other's bugs. It's going to be sold. Each instance is sold to one organization. There are multiple instances for the competition. So if you can snarf inside of your own instance to some other team and change the values in Agile Manager, I mean I guess it's good to know, but it's not our purpose today, and it doesn't add a ton of value, and it detracts from the sportsmanship of the event. So, but if we can, let's focus on testing the Vendasta software under test, the sales demo tool, please. So what's next? So we have one user who is insisting that on Twitter, they can see everyone's bugs natively. They don't have to do any kind of tricking or manipulation. They just see everything. So we'll get his login and try to figure that out. It is possible that they're set up as an administrator. So do the best you can. Try not to cheat. Other questions? Jason, I hope you're having a good meal. For those of you who don't know, eating stuff on Hangouts is kind of my thing, so it's kind of allowed. But I snarfed everything down right before the in the Hangout, before the Hangout with the other judges. So you didn't have to see that. Does field validation only occur on mandatory fields? Oh, Jason's muted. Probably because he was eating. Jason, you're muted. Sorry.
Sorry. There is some very rudimentary validation on some of the fields. If it's a URL, it must have at least one dot in it and no spaces. If it's a phone number, it should only have characters one normally expects in a phone number, and even then we're probably going to strip it down to just the numbers. So yes, there should be some rudimentary validation, nothing to the extent of we're going to make sure that this data is correct. It's more of a, we're going to ensure that this data looks like it's in the correct format.
Just catching obvious and simple errors.
Mm-hmm.
How can I add a review for a company?
Well, companies actually ask us this all the time. None of our products are actually, none of our products currently can leave reviews. We look for reviews that already exist. Because we're selling this to small businesses, the ability to leave reviews is something that's frowned upon, generally called astroturfing. Whereas the purpose of our products is to let them know what's already being said by people that are out there and engage with them.
So if you wanted to simulate adding a review in order to see if things changed, you'd have to actually add a review by TripAdvisor or something like that.
Yes, and even then there'd be some delay because TripAdvisor doesn't tell us when a new review has been added. We have to go ask them. Our production environment currently does this for in excess of 200,000 businesses a day. So it's not something we do every second. It's something we do on a randomized schedule per business. Every business is guaranteed to have their reviews, their new reviews gathered at least once every 24 hours. They might get more than once every 24 hours because every time we pull the reviews, we randomly schedule the next poll for the reviews to some random time in the next 24 hours.
So there's a comment that bug hackers should be banned from the contest. I'm writing that we'll see how much damage they do. Right now it looks like they are proving that they can do it, not actually manipulating the results.
Yes, but it's, I think, already established that it's possible to do it.
Yeah, it's been proven, so stop.
Teams should rather focus on the actual testing and reports.
Jackie's posted something from Anna, who said it seems there's some problems with the DB. It's not a database, so that would be the first problem. It's a NoSQL data store. DB operations create and edit accounts will randomly fail. The randomly worries me. If you can find something that triggers it, that would be awesome. We do occasionally run into some transaction locks where too many instances are trying to access the data store at the same time. It's pretty rare. If you're seeing it commonly, that's important. If you're seeing it like you're testing hard for 2 and a bit hours now and you've seen it like once or twice, I wouldn't worry too much about it. The load that we're currently putting on the system for interactive is probably 2 to 3 times our normal daily load. Businesses tend to log in, do their work, and be back out in about 15 minutes. So while we have over 200,000 users, well, they're not all on at the same time. They usually all only come on like once a week, sometime during the week, unless we email them a report that says there's something they need to see. When do I expect this product to be released? What is the deadline for release? This product, we're an agile company. We release this product every week on Tuesdays. You are currently looking at the version that is scheduled for release next Tuesday. There is a version with 1 or 2 features less than the one you're currently using already available to our customers. That was from 3 Soft Revenge 59. Oh.
It's sign into Business Center from email in scope for testing.
Yes, the sign-in is in scope. The place where you end up after you've signed in is not. It's a really fine line, I know.
Well, that's weird. is the URL I'm about to put in the Google Hangout chat in scope.
In the Hangout chat.
STWC.vbc-demo.appspot.com.
Anything that has that URL would be in scope, yes.
That's the business center. So just to log into that?
Right, that's VBC demo, sorry. That's the business center. That's where you're going to get sent. That first screen where you're asked to update your password, it is in scope, but after you edit your password and you end up in the actual business center, then you're out of scope.
Right. Mohinder can't get the security quest. No. Can you just have... How did Mohinder report that, Andrea? Sorry.
It's just a comment in the YouTube channel.
Okay. I'll just reply to him in YouTube then.
It's Simon Knight's comment, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
We've only got... So the thing is, we've only got 45 minutes left.
His email is also in the chat for the password reset.
Mike, do you want to answer that question from Sibyl that Gunnar put in the chat?
Yes, so normally it should show the team name. If that is not really showing, I can forward her team to HP and get it sorted there. Otherwise, she can try to manually fill it, see if that works as a workaround, and we sort it out later. But we're already on it. I give it to our HP support guys.
Yep, someone else, I don't know, you might have just been talking about this, but I was reading. Someone else says, my Agile Manager account has the application field blank. Should I register the defect anyway? I think if they do, everyone's going to see it. Right? After I confirm the Facebook address, do I need to do anything else in order to display the results in the report?
Say that again?
After I display the Facebook, after I confirm the Facebook address, do I need to do anything else in order to display the results in the report?
Shouldn't need to. If it's not, if the Facebook address you've entered is correct and it's not showing up, that would be a bug.
Okay.
There are certain classes of Facebook pages that we don't scrape correctly. I thought we'd covered them all off with our last round of Facebook fixes. But you never know, Facebook's a bit of a moving target.
Are multiple logins allowed? I think that's yes.
Yeah.
Do we have to enable something to get it to work?
I should have done that already.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is. Who are Sales Tool's main market?
Jason, did you reset for Mohinder's?
Mohinder's locked out of Agile Manager, right? Not.
Oh, sorry. Ah, okay, sorry, messed it up. Yeah, okay, then I forward to the next person. Thanks.
No problem, Mike.
Main market competition for the Sales Tool?
We don't. There isn't really competition. Sales Tool isn't something we sell. Sales Tool is something that we give to partners to help them sell our main product, which is Reputation Intelligence. Our main competitors there are products like Radiant 6. Our competitive advantage over somebody like Radiant 6 is we do small business location based as a bottom-up approach. So we do support like subway chains, restaurant chains, and anything as long as they have bricks and mortar presences. And we can give you the reputation of your brand, but it'll be based on the reputation of all of your locations. Whereas a company like Radiant 6 would look at that and say, well, the reputation of your brand is the reputation of your brand, and yes, you have multiple locations, and we'll give you their reputations separately. Radiant 6 is designed mostly for the large companies, whereas we focus on small, medium business.
Okay, I cannot select my team name while trying to generate the bug report in HP Agile. Trying to generate bug report. Trying to create a new bug? I'll try to handle this.
Okay. I am going to be right back. My throat is dry. I'm going to go grab a quick drink of water. I'll be gone for like 30 seconds.
Okay. So if you're trying to create a new bug, and if it's new and you can't select an application, then everyone will be able to see the bug. And what you're going to have to do is put your team name in there, and that's going to make things hard for us. If you're trying to run some report and you can't select team name for some report, sorry, you should only see your own bugs anyway, so it should be okay.
Yeah, I think if he really uses the HP internal graphs and dashboard and other functionality, that is not really set up for the competition, because our main focus is to use the defect management section of the HP Agile Manager. So yes, that might be true that it's not working, but you can extract your bugs in any case in an Excel or a CSV separated format and create your statistics or graphs that way.
Okay, when people log in to Agile Manager, is there a standard password we emailed everybody? It's all the same?
Come again, a standard password?
Yeah.
No.
If I give you the username for manager, which I just did in the Hangout, can you text me the password for that user?
Probably not. Let me check.
Basically, this user is complaining they can see everything, all the bugs. They can see them all.
Yeah, just working on it. So
Hey,
what is
Jean-Paul. Is Jean-Paul on here? No. Okay. Jean-Paul Varwick. Yeah. So it's 8:25 p.m. Berlin time. We have 35 minutes to the competition now. That is to file all your bugs and to turn in a test report. Test report should be meaningful to a decision maker, which is probably Jason, about the software under test. So I would think you would be helping him make decisions about, can we ship the software on Tuesday, and what are the key bugs that we need to ship the software on Tuesday? Or what are the main areas of functionality that may be important that we didn't have time to cover? What are the risks? So here's what I covered, here's what I didn't cover. And if you care about these things, you can't make a ship decision yet. So, if you gave me 3 more hours, I would do this. And if you gave me 6 more hours, I would do that. If you gave me 12 more hours, you would do that. Right? Then the decision maker can look at that pile of stuff and go, I'm not really worried about any of that stuff. The stuff you did test is important stuff, so ship it. Right? That's the kind of thing that you could put in a bug report, test report. What else could you put in a test report? Is Pascal back now? Pascal? Well, then let's go to. Is it Andre? I'm sorry, we've never actually talked before this hangout.
Yeah, hi, Andre. That's right.
Yeah, Andre is from Romania, and we were just starting to talk, and then we got cut off by the beginning of the competition. So, what do you like to see? First, maybe introduce yourself, and then what do you like to see in a good test report? Andre?
Yeah, hi. So I'm a tester. I'm from Romania, part of Transylvania. It's called Cluj. I work as a test architect here in Cluj. And yeah, I do see a lot of test reports, and mostly I look for the areas covered, risks raised, and perhaps a suggestion whether the overall quality, regarding the overall quality of the application in test. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay. What's new and exciting in your neck of the woods? I know you mentioned the Romanian test conference. I don't know much about.
Yeah, Romanian Test Conference is a pretty young event. It's held every year, and this year was its 3rd edition. Usually it hosts like around 20 speakers and with around 300 attendees. We have usually 2 days of event with tutorials, workshops, and presentations. I've seen a lot of people attending this session of Testing World Cup, and which were also attending our event. So yeah, I think the event is growing from year to year, and looking forward to see more people joining this.
Well, I am interested, so if I can help in any way with telling more people about the event or anything like that, it's amazing how many test conferences are blowing up, especially in Eastern Europe right now. I was just at Nordic Testing Days last week.
Yeah, I was there too.
Did we meet? Did I at least say hello?
Yeah, I think we kind of exchanged one or two words. Just saying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, we would like to share and make this event larger, and we usually host it in around May every year. So yeah, for 2015 we have huge plans, which we plan to share it when we have something deliverable for it.
Okay. Exciting.
Matt, I'm just going to step in for a second.
Sure.
Now, I don't want to give away this bug to other people, but Damien, I don't know where this person posted this question. Somebody found the person you posted about the DERKACZ3. Yes, it's not critical to me, but yes, I'm very interested in it.
Okay. What time is it? It's okay. It's we just hit you've got half an hour left. Can the user's sale manipulate its reputation over other users' sale? Not quite sure what that means.
Users shouldn't be able to interact with salespeople, which is what you guys are logging in as, should not be able to interact with other salespeople's small business user accounts.
Agile Manager, in Agile Manager, there is no way to generate bug report for all bugs from the same team. Why is it so? Shouldn't they just see them in defect management?
Come again? I just had to restart my Firefox.
Question is...
I think they're looking to export a report for their report that they're submitting to us.
Oh, right. Isn't there a way to export your bugs as a?
Oh yeah, sure. In the defect management, I think it's under more actions. Let me look up what the term is.
Export
to Excel or CSV.
Okay, hopefully that does it. Do you plan to support color contrast? I don't know what that means.
I'm not entirely sure the question. We do some minimal color blindness testing, and so we test for 3 specific variants of color blindness. Thankfully, we have people with each of those color blindnesses in our office, as well as the software that I use to test for that. We found things in the past. As far as I know, there isn't anything in the app currently.
So that would actually be, we have 2 colors that if you are colorblind look the same, so you can't read the text because you're colorblind.
can't read the text or can't tell that something's important because we've color-coded it to say that it's important, but it looks the same as something else on the screen, so you can't differentiate. One of the things that we found in the past is there's a gentleman here that has a color blindness, and he could tell that a certain piece of text is a different color. He just wasn't able to tell what color it had changed to, partially because of the font we were using, the size of the font we were using, and the color we were using. So we were able to change one of the three, and his usability went up.
Timeout is 1 hour. I'll try to reply on the Hangout.
Supposed to be 1 hour of inactivity.
Right, roughly 1 hour of inactivity. Ish.
Yeah.
Do account names need to be unique?
Account names, no. Let me just pull up a screen here. Trying to remember. There is something that needs to be unique, but I don't remember if it's exposed to the user in this application.
Is it just me, or is it awesome that Simon Knight's icon is a horse from chess? Like, that's cool. So, is Patrick Prill still on? Patrick, are you still on?
Yes, I'm just have to unmute. Sorry.
No worries. So, how far are you from Bad Dürkheim, Germany?
Where?
Bad Dürkheim.
Bad Dürkheim. A while?
Because Häuser Hotel is in Bad Dürkheim.
Ah, okay.
Someday I'm going to be a conference there.
Any relations there?
Yes. If you go to the ledger book, you can find where my grandfather's father signed the ledger book where he took his inheritance when he left the old country for the New World.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Matt,
still waiting for your Miyagi-Do setup in your Hotel Häuser.
We've been talking about it. It hasn't worked out yet. I don't think it's going to work out unless I lose a lot of money and we have a conference with 6 people. But aside from that, I'm totally excited.
Matt, so I quickly took a look at that create account screen. There is a required unique field, but we don't expose it on that screen. We force it to be unique. So yes, they can use the exact same information repeatedly as much as they'd want in this testing session.
Okay, great. Is it important if the search is not well realized, like displaying duplicate results? That sounds like a bug to me.
Okay. So Lanu asked from Team Silent Majority, what's the last login filter for the account name sorting? It's sorting on the last login to the Reputation Intelligence product. That's that purple star icon. If you haven't clicked on that for an application, it should say never in the last login. If you haven't seen last login, you haven't been exploring thoroughly enough.
Can we have a quick answer on all the page timeout, session timeout, etc. questions, or did we touch them before?
they've been asked a few times. It's supposed to be 1 hour of inactivity. Any interaction with any of the pages resets the session timeout that we store at our end. There's a cookie that's stored on their end with the foreign key to that session timeout that we store on our end.
Thanks.
So it's 8:40 now. You've got 20 minutes to get your bug reports in. You probably should be shifting to test reports. Test reports take a strikingly large amount of time to write under time pressure and conditions of uncertainty, which is what we are simulating here. Hopefully, you know, your adrenaline is running, and this is the fun kind of uncertainty, not the burnout, sweaty palm, sad, unhappy kind of uncertainty. But did we have Mike? Did someone from HP want to talk for a couple of minutes about Agile Manager, or are we not going to have time for that today?
Sadly, Felix is only on his mobile reachable, and I think the integration of the Hangout into mobile devices is not working properly. So we tried it for the last half an hour to get him in, but that way is not working. And I think internally they have certain company policies that on regular machines it's not allowed. Yes, but nevertheless I can speak maybe a little bit on behalf of them. So yeah, in the beginning of the event of the Software Testing World Cup, we of course were looking for some tool which can help us to set it up on this global stage and scale. And yeah, HP was happy to help and support us in that way, since they have a cloud-based version of their former Quality Center ALM tool. So, and it was really fitting the purposes we, as the organizers, had in our mind. Just a simple tool, less ramp-up time to learn this tool, and we didn't need much of the other sections they have, like product and release management. So it seems quite agile on the other aspects as well with the dashboard. But for our focus, the bug management was sufficient, and it was nearly 90% working out of the box. What we needed, I think the only customization we did was really doing the application fields to keep the teams separated. Yeah, and yeah, it was a beneficial situation, I suppose, because like Europe, we have 250 teams, meaning maximum 1,000 players, and that for the other continents, up and down more or less the same. So it was good for them as well, and it worked quite cool. And also from the support side, I'm really happy and grateful. So it doesn't matter in which time zone we were having the event, being Beijing time or Australia times, always a few HP guys were on standby to answer our questions, to reset passwords, to fix problems with the account of the teams. And yeah, and I really appreciate that. Yes, so that's the little promotion on that. But yeah, I really feel happy with them.
Yeah, the reason this is a real competition is thanks to the folks at HP. I mean, that's how we're getting the airfare there, and that's how we're getting the infrastructure to make this happen. And they've been massively helpful on that front.
Yes, that as well. So I think our initial plan was really to do a virtual online competition and give them some... Oh, hello there. Pascal has still some great weather outside.
Mike, I'm going to jump in here. There are some questions posted in the Hangout chat that I want to answer. I'm going to start. They were posted in a bit of a funny order, so I've been thinking about them in a funny order, so I'm going to answer them in that order. What was the most difficult development phase for this application? Actually, it was those grades, the letter grades that go along the side of the report. Getting those, getting a good sampling against the industry, the averages for the various businesses, and then turning those into letter grades when you compare them against the industry average was difficult to get working both nicely for small businesses, medium businesses, and larger businesses, and still have those letter grades mean something useful. Question 5 was, how big is our development team? It varies depending on how much work this particular product needs. Vendasta has a development team of 40 developers, and we currently have 6 testers, although we're looking to add another 6 testers. And so any one time, the sales tool, which is what you're testing, can have anywhere between 6 devs working on it and 1 dev working on it. It always has somebody working on it. We use Scrum. Our testers are embedded onto the teams that they work with. So as the primary tester for this application, I go to this Scrum team stand-up every morning. I go to their retros, their backlog estimations, all of that. The PO's desk is 2 offices over from mine, so I can talk to them anytime I want. I just walk over to their desk and talk to them. We use Google Hangouts a lot for this, though, either for the chat or for video, like we're doing now. Agile management tool. We're a Jira shop. It's not my favorite tool in the world, but it does everything we need it to, and it actually has a really nice bug reporting Chrome extension that we use quite extensively that takes screenshots and gathers browser data for us. Why did we decide to store the session under the URL path but not the cookies? I don't actually know the answer to that question. The developer would have made that decision at some time. It might have been for expediency, and we haven't had a good reason to change it. How many users can simultaneously access the sales tool? Did we test it? We've tested that we are transactionally safe for 3 or 4 users connecting to the same account at the same time, all trying to edit and create accounts. It works. Beyond that, it's just a scaling issue because beyond that many users simultaneous, Google spins up new instances of our virtual machine that runs all of this, and so they're all independent. So yes, we tested it, not super thoroughly because most of it is Google infrastructure as opposed to us. What functionality do our users most use? That email report link. That's their favorite feature. They create an account, edit it really quickly, and then email it out to customers. Scrolling down. Somebody asked if they needed to do the report in Agile Manager. I believe the answer is no.
No, just whatever you want. Email. Email plain text is probably not preferred because we're going to have to extract those and put them somewhere. So you can email us a Word doc, an Excel file, a PowerPoint, a PDF, any tool you want that generates a PDF, any tool you want that generates a Word doc, RTF. Prefer not ASCII text. Whatever you want.
Just a quick hint from the last the North American competition that I judged. It really helps if your team name is in your document title. Prevents you from going insane.
Right. Yeah, so good things to put in there. Team name, player names, email addresses, because then if there's a question, we can email you back. Today's date, yeah, and then you can go on to, what is Pascal doing? He's on his bike. Yeah, he's on his bicycle. That's awesome. I don't know if that's broadcasting, but Pascal Dufour, one of our judges, is on his bicycle riding through. I'm guessing that's Zwolle in the Netherlands, but I'm not really sure. Right?
Silent Majority asks if there's a limit to the report length. Well, unless you've been writing for 3 hours, you're unlikely to exceed the amount that we're willing to read. Although, please bear in mind, there are 250 teams. I now need to go read. Anybody got a bug count for me yet? I haven't been able to log into Agile Manager today, so I don't know what the bug count's up to.
We should be around 3,000 in total.
Oh, that's not so bad. I was expecting there to be about 6,000.
3,000 bugs. Wow.
I'm hoping there's like actually 5 bugs that every team has reported.
So if you're really listening, I'm gonna give you a hint right now. We've only got 10 minutes left. There's only so much you can do, but we're not going to be able to judge all 3,000 bugs realistically. So what is the judge going to do? He's going to have to they're going to have to triage our time. We're going to go on. We're going to sort most likely by criticality and look at the critical bugs. If those are badly written, then your bugs are bad. If they are well written, well, maybe we can keep looking. But you covered the important things, right? So critical bugs, you're going to want to be careful to make sure they are reproducible and reasonable. A bug like search doesn't work. How do I reproduce that? If it's in fact true that clicking the search button causes a crash, you're fine. But if it's any more nuanced than that, we're probably going to have a problem. Because I'm going to type in hello, click search, see one result, and say, wait a minute, it works for me. Right?
There's a question about quantity of bugs versus quality of bugs. Well, I think we're all professional testers here. If you were testing one of your own products, what would you rather have? Quality. If you file 200 bugs about how my fonts render on different pages, I might get around to fixing it. If you file 2 really well-written bugs about huge, gaping issues in my program, I'm going to fix them right away, and I'm going to be thankful to you. I believe somebody said 3,000 bugs, half of what was expected. What about their quality? I will put to you that I was expecting 3,000 bugs, 6,000 bugs, because there are 250 teams. And I'm expecting you all to find the same 5 really easy bugs, and that's an enormous amount of bugs filed right there because they're all duplicates. I was on a diatribe there a second ago. Basically, the better the reported bugs are, the happier I'm going to be. Oh, I know what I was going to say. In Contest Pass, the product owner has been able to give out bonus points for you guys writing really good bugs. So if you write a really good bug that I'm really happy about because I can replicate it really well and it's really important to me, there are bonus points, and they're mine to give away.
Yep. And what we've done with other judges who are a little bit less engaged than Jason knows how we do everything. A lot of product owners just want to see the cream of the crop. So historically, we've kind of, and I think we can still maybe we can make a Google Doc or something for the judges, just say, here are the bugs we thought were really, really interesting. Because I sent those to TechSmith, first of all, that had material, tangible business value to them, right? Because it was a real product we were testing. And we found a security issue that made them actually change some of the company policies. And I can't say anything more than that. But also that can really help us because the product owner can write back and say, it's not really that big a deal. I don't see what the big deal is. And then that allows us to impact our score appropriately.
Yeah.
That's funny. Sorry, somebody posted something funny on Google Plus.
It's also, please bear in mind, the better the test reports that you guys write and the better bugs that you guys write, it makes software testing World Cup a more viable product for us as the organizing group, specifically Matt and Mike, to take to companies like mine and say, we'd like to use your product for an upcoming local. Here's the benefit to you out of it. You got to let us use your product, help us out during the day of the competition by providing somebody to talk to the competitors, and out of it, we'll sick 1,000 testers on your app for 3 hours. But don't worry, we will filter down the results so that you get something useful out of it.
Exactly. And I mean, the past experience of the North America and Oceania event showed that the testing teams really found production bugs. For one instance, the Macintosh release was postponed for a few weeks. In the other, they had some security issues found. So it's really productive for both sides.
Yep. So we've got 5 minutes left, folks. So you should be editing your test reports at this point. You should be typing them up. What's that email address? testreport@softwaretestingworldcup.com. Is that what they're supposed to do, Mike?
No, we changed that as well. We live and learn. So it's testreport-europe@softwaretestingworldcup.com. But look in your newsletter you got today from the STWC, and you also find it there again. Exactly.
Well, there's evidence that they are slowing down their testing. The maximum request rate that I had during the competition was just over 40 requests per second to the web server, and it's now down around 10 requests per second. So I think people are starting to work on their reports.
Yep. testreport-europe@softwaretestingworldcup.com. Software Testing World Cup 2014.
Somebody asked me, they weren't sure if I said Jira. Yes, I said Jira. Do we also use Confluence as a knowledge management system? No, we do not. If no, could you please advise?
You use social text? Do you use social text?
No, we don't use social text.
Oh!
No. This is a bit of a nuanced question. Jira is a fairly good tool for interacting with your technical staff, interacting outside of your technical staff. I'm sorry if you work for Jira, but it sucks for interacting with non-technical staff and customers. We use a tool called Zendesk, which integrates with Jira just nicely. So.
So we have 3 minutes left. I've introduced most of the judges, but I think that Guna Petrov has been quiet, and Guna Petrova. And I met Guna in Estonia last week. She's Latvian, and she came to Nordic Testing Days, and she was my coordinator for the tutorial we did, and she gave me a remarkably large amount of chocolate, which I greatly appreciated and never thanked her properly for. So, thanks for helping us today, Guna.
Yeah, I do that. I tend to give people chocolate or candy.
That always works for me, by the way, unless I'm in Scotland, in which case, actually, I was in Scotland the week before I was in Estonia, and they gave me a liter of Scotch whiskey, cask strength, as a speaker's gift. So that British Computer Society Scotland, they're okay. Tell us about Guna. What's new and exciting in your neck of woods? What are you working on?
Right now, I'm still trying to get the rest from the Nordic Days. helping out as a part of organizer team is actually extremely exhausting. If somebody thinks it's just walk on a beach, hell no. But it's still loads of fun. You get to meet lots of cool people, and suddenly at least 10 from the people from the Twitter you're following are in your face with, I follow you! So that's kind of cool. So for now, for me, is I did sign up to help here. So this is one thing I'm doing. Also, a little bit of perhaps there will be something we will do with the local test hub, the tech hub. So, but also with some testing twist in it. And other than that, rest up, build some strength. Just there will be advertisement now. They are looking for volunteers. The application security testing conference, it will be in mid-June in UK, in Cambridge. They're looking for help, and they are not paying me to do this, sorry. So in case there is somebody who is willing to volunteer and have some strength in them to do so, unfortunately I won't be able to pull this off. So that's it. I like to test. I plan to test. So please kill me if I stop testing.
Well, you can always be a critical thinker, even if you happen to move on to a different role, right? So I did project management for a year, and it was all right.
I did some team managing as well, but then I get a chance to just test, and I'm really happy to just test. So I know it kind of sounds weird. What are your plans for the future? I don't know, to test.
No, I think that's great. I think it's kind of weird that it seems to me that we're running into two kinds of people, and it's okay. The majority of testers, this is something they're going to do for a couple of years, probably, and they're going to move on to something else, and that's okay. That's probably 70% of testers. But there is a small number of testers who think, this is really what I want to do. I want to get good at it, and I'm willing to learn, to study, to research, to get involved, to get on social media, to build my reputation, so I can keep doing this, even as the world keeps changing. And that's not a lot of testers, but the ones that are, that's okay. That's awesome. Like, you don't see many doctors that say, I want to go into management, right? They want to heal people. That's what they want to do. And I think that testers that have that same attitude, that's cool. So thanks. Appreciate it. Of course, you can always come to the World Competition in Germany in November. When is it, Mike? It's November 9th?
Yes, I think so. It's in Carnival time. And
of course, if you don't win today, and you should see some emails. I'm not. I don't have the emails, Mike. But have you logged in? Why don't you go ahead and log into the test report email address and see? He says they're coming in. Okay, great. If you don't win today, you do get a second chance, because we do have 7 continents, but only 6 regional competitions. The competition for Antarctica is going to be the day before Agile Testing Days. It's a Sunday in Potsdam, Germany. We have a little peer conference called Pots Lightning, and on November 9th, and that evening is going to be the competition, the wildcard round, to represent Antarctica in the world, which is going to be on the 10th. And if you want to, in the morning of the 10th, I am doing a half-day tutorial on lean software testing, which I'm going to take the full-day version. No idea how we're going to get it into a half-day, but we'll see what we can do. And it's 9 o'clock in Berlin, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think we should probably shut this down shortly. You should stop filing bugs. Get your report in the next 10 minutes, folks. It's really not fair to the ones that got the reports in on time to turn yours in late. So please submit what you have. we'll start to punish teams significantly when they start in a couple more minutes of not having the reports in. And I should probably say goodbye. So, Andre, thank you for playing. Anything you want to say before you go?
Only happy Friday for all.
You too.
That's it. Thanks.
It's a little bit later. It's a little bit later in Romania than Germany.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. actually.
Okay. Well, you probably don't have to work tomorrow, so.
No, I not.
We have.
Thanks. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I also wanted to thank Jason for having us and giving his SUT a big exposure to all the professional testers, and yeah, being a great product owner. I think we really gave them great and beneficial information. So let's see what they made out of it. Yeah, thanks for the other judges and for you to doing the face communication here, and for the judges the support in the background. I think when we started it and saw how many teams registered, we were really like, oh, that will be some logistic problem. But yeah, thanks all the volunteers to jump in and help us and support the event.
Yeah, the tool is mostly scaled, and we managed to answer a significant portion of the questions. And there was a lot of questions, but we got a lot of them answered. So, fantastic. Of course, one person who was on the line today but didn't speak much is Damien Sinadinos, right? Who you may know from the U.S. competition. He was online for a while there. Damien, thanks for playing.
Hey, thank you for having me. Looking forward to reading through the reports and the bug reports.
Yeah, that's gonna be work.
Wow.
I'll try to be on Skype. I'll be on Skype probably this afternoon. Most of the Europeans are gonna go to sleep, but I'll be on Skype later today, Eastern time, and tomorrow, if we have people have questions, judges have questions to sort of get this thing knocked out. I'll have to talk to Mike, and maybe we'll send an email about how to sign up. These are the teams that I'm judging, or how we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Did you assign people already? You might have assigned people.
No, I will finish it before Sunday, because now I will see which of the registered teams actually entered at least one bug. Yeah.
So as a judge, you can't even really judge until you get that spreadsheet done, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And okay. So thanks, Damien. Thank you, Guna. I look forward to collaborating with you on the judging and getting this done.
I will try my best.
You're so soft-spoken. You're so we'll see what I can do. You do great. Thank you. Thank you, Jason, for the software under test and for being such a great product owner.
Not a problem, guys. It was my pleasure to work with Mike and Matt again on Software Testing World Cup. I look forward to bringing this back, and maybe even some of your bug reports that are absolutely amazing I'll be able to share with the testing team here at Vendasta so that they can learn from you guys.
That's fantastic. It would be great. It would be great to sort of take some of the best written bug. So there's lots of things we could do with this. One thing I'd like to do is get some examples of extremely well written bug report, same bug, moderately well written, same bug, not well written, same bug, terribly written, and then as an exercise, give it to a group of testers and say sort what makes them well written. That'd be fun. So fantastic. We already said Mike, who's my collaborator in this. This is not his day job. He works for the company that organizes this, Diaz and Hilterscheid, but he has a day job as a trainer, and this is an after-hours activity. And Mike, it's a lot of work, and I know you have the thanks of a grateful community.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I heard there's another World Cup going on. I don't know what they are talking about, but.
Well, the Netherlands, their game started 8 minutes ago, so I think I'm gonna put that on the screen where your face is right now and start reading up.
Yes,
That's
yes,
awesome.
do so.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah. And that leaves us with Patrick, who I've known over Twitter as just a smart guy who replies to comments that make you think in a respectful way, which is really kind of rare. In testing circles, we have the people that make you think that are not so respectful. The people that are respectful don't really challenge you. Not many people that do both. So, thanks. It's great getting to know you through this competition. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
If you want to follow, can somebody mute? Somebody needs to mute. Okay. If you want to follow the STWC 2014 hashtag on Twitter, that's probably the best way to get updates about when are we going to get this thing judged. It's a lot of work. We've got to balance a lot of things. We've got to not burn ourselves out, and then we have to line things up to start it all over again because we're barely halfway done. We've got 3 more continents to judge after this. We've got to figure out what we're going to do about Asia. We've got to reschedule Asia. So, and
next Friday is Africa.
Yes. Really?
Yes. They're also going strong with 100+ teams, so positively surprised with Africa.
Next Friday is Africa. 100 teams?
Yes, and I'm on vacation, by the way.
I'm on a plane. Let's see what time I land and what time the competition is. I think it's going to work out.
Yes.
We'll figure that out on the back channel. For now, Europe is done, and we'll be in touch. Thanks, everybody.
See you, Matt.
Thanks. Enjoy the weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.